Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Southside, and joining me on the show this evening is AK and the legend that is Bridgeman. How are you guys?
Evening, Southside. Evening, Bridgeman.
I'm Southside, and joining me on the show.
Evening, Bridgeman, and evening to Rangers Radio listeners.
Bridgeman, how are you, pal? Might be on mute.
Anyway, close there. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Right, okay, pal. I keep switching it off and on. It doesn't work sometimes. Anyway, good evening to both of you in the Southside and the AK. Magic to be on here again, and of course the techie boys in the background. Can I just say a big good evening to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world? Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Aye, Bridge. AK, sorry, first, how you, pal? How's your weekend been?
Good mate. Enjoyed the game yesterday. Enjoyed cheering on the Bears in at Hampden there, and we look forward to a cup final. But by the way, that's a pound you owe me. I said he'd be stuck on mute in a minute, and you said 5 minutes, so that's a pound you owe me.
Okay. Hope you've done your reporting for breaking that seat yesterday. That he's probably ran out of pyro by now. So Bridgeman.
I've still got that blue smoke in my lungs, I'll tell you that.
That's by the way, that's 2 semi-finals and both of them stopped for the first 15 minutes or so, maybe 20. Quite incredible.
They could have a wind machine set up, I think, at Hampden. Get rid of the smoke quicker. Yeah, I'll just give a shout out to all the boys on all the troops out on YouTube as well tonight. Say hello to them. What was I going to say? Bridge, you've been on here that long now. What would you think, AK Bridgeman's due a testimonial?
Feels like it, doesn't it?
He's in the Hall of Fame anyway, so you put it that way. Top man.
Rangers chat and Rangers Radio. Rangers chat was something else. Foxy, remember Foxy on that? Hopefully he'd remember me on that as well. That's a long time, isn't it? Long time.
Testimonial, Bridge. That's what you should be shouting for, mate.
Well, I think this is, to me, it's only me, of course. I think this is the best wee show that any Rangers fan could ever want to be involved with in any way, shape or form. And it's sad that a lot of them maybe used to phone in and they don't want to phone in anymore. Maybe fed up with Rangers. That's maybe a big problem. Maybe if we did a lot better, we would get more people in. But that's the saddest part for me, that there isn't so many people phoning in. Other than that, tip-top show.
Well, we certainly get plenty of phone calls, as you know, when we're not doing so well. Maybe when we're playing all right or we're doing better, people just don't bother. But listen, I think everybody's moaning, and I think, AK, you heard that yesterday at the game. Even although we didn't come out on fire at the start, I thought we controlled most of the first half, but slacking at forward lines and positions and certain last passes here and there in the first half. But you heard the groans, certainly, didn't you? As soon as a misplaced pass was done by any player on the park. But basically, Tav, I think in the first 5 minutes, I think he passed about 4 straight away to nobody.
There were certainly groans, disgruntlement. The young bears that was running about me certainly voiced their displeasure, as you say. Tavernier seemed to be getting targeted, and to be honest with you, it probably didn't help the team. But that's us as Bears, we follow them, so we're there. We're entitled to voice our displeasure or our pleasure when they cheer. And it was a game of 2 halves, shall we say. I mean, I don't buy the kind of the forums and that. I know that we were rotten the first half. we were the better team than Motherwell, but they were up the park once and they scored out it. It was quite incredible, but we weren't clinical enough. The quality wasn't there. You look at the stats in the first half, I think the Motherwell keeper actually had 5 saves. I think it was at 7 on target and he had 5 saves. So we're shooting on target, but I'm not saying it was world-class saves. But I thought Dessers was a bit unlucky at the game. I couldn't believe that he'd missed it. But speaking to yourself last night, I had a wee look at it back today, and actually it looks like a penalty to me. I don't know what you think yourselves, but the Motherwell boys seemed to clatter him for the back. But,
I was going to get to that as we went through the first half, but since you're going through it now, you know. Might as well, Bridge. What's he doing? He's attacking us already, Bridge.
I know. He's a nightmare. Oh dear.
Sorry, guys.
No. But well, like I say, we didn't start off in fire, Bridge, right? But we had the first chance, like AK was saying, we had a few shots in the first half on target, although it didn't bring us any reward. But Czerny was unlucky. The goalie actually spilled it. I think the defender kicked it out for the corner kick. He sort of cut in the edge of the 18-yard box and you fired a left foot shot in. It bounced just in front of the keeper, but he more or less sort of spilled it, if you can remember, for the first half early doors, which was a chance for us to probably put it. If he'd probably put it in the far corner, I think it would have been more chance because there was a gap there, but it was early in the game and he took the shot. But like I say, the goalie spilled it, but it was a chance to go 1-0 up at that time.
Sorry, did you say something to me there? Apologies.
I was talking to you, yeah. I was talking about Czerny's chance when the goalie spilled it. And it just early doors. Yeah,
I thought first half, Rangers did quite well, shall we say, possession-wise. And as AK says, there was a couple of good chances. Dessers I think Dessers must have missed about 4 or 5 chances. And it feels like it in the first half alone. But I don't know what I find about that black lad. He scored a good goal. It's a good goal he scored. But seriously, I think, you know, Rangers are really. It looks as if our players don't really understand where they are on the pitch, because they end up taking them. Anybody that's played football knows. Don't tread on anybody else's position. Make sure if there's anybody going to bump into you, it's going to be an opposition player, not your own player. And we must have bumped into each other easily 7 yesterday or last night, should I say? Aye. And that's all I feel about all these things. Some of it's just everything down to ourselves. Sometimes it's quite incompetent that we don't realise who's running about us. We can't see each other and we're right next to each other, that kind of thing. So, I call it game presence, and that's what I've always called game presence. You know who's going to be beside you, and you got a good idea when someone's coming near you, and you got a better idea if he's wearing the same colour as you. And that's to me, that's what you need to know. It doesn't stop people sliding in and coming in with their feet up in the air and getting you, but seriously, it's similar to losing the ball. Southside, you know, we lose the ball. We lose the ball in the most strange places, and all of a sudden we've lost the ball and they're breaking, and it's just like a tidal wave of people coming on us. Sorry, I'm rambling on again. I do apologise, but that's the way I feel.
Aye, listen, there was a lot. We got up to the edge of the box a few times. Jeff Day put a lovely pass through to Dessers, but she was just running in. AK, as you mentioned. And to be honest, he should have probably done a lot better. He's just sort of had the shot, but it's went wide to the right hand post. Right. I get what he was trying to do, go across the goalkeeper, but you should. When you're a number 9 at Rangers, you're judged in scoring goals. You play because these are the chances that you look for to get. And he was clearing the pass. It was a good run and it was a good pass, but the finish was terrible, wasn't it?
It doesn't seem to get his strike away at all in that occasion. There's been a few opportunities been like that, and it's not just Dessers that seems to be scuffing his shot. His technique hasn't been great there. Barron's had shots at goal, Raskins had shots at goal, Lawrence, Cherney, Bizrami even. You know, you're expecting better quality out of the guys, definitely. As I say, we kind of huffed and puffed, but the thing that disappointed me more is it's a national semi-final. You're on live in the telly. You've got thousands in the stadium that's made the effort to go to the game. You've got millions back at home, and we were kind of lacklustre. It was a funny start to the game, and Motherwell just looked as if they were there to just camp in, expecting a whirlwind start for Rangers in 10, 15 minutes into the game. I think Motherwell went, nah, stuff this. We might as well ask questions. And they didn't really get behind us that much. But as I say, just one opportunity into the box and all of a sudden we're 1-0 down. You're like, how did that happen? But aye. Let you carry on with the rest of the game for the others.
No, listen, that was a chance, right? But obviously, Cherney, if he puts it probably into the far corner like he'd done earlier and we'd seen him score at Hampden, I think he would have finished it. Dessers was the one I thought. It was a good run. It was a good pass. He's inside the 18-yard box, Bridge. He's going across the goalkeeper, but if he scores, that's us one up there straight away in the game. And then you can take a bit of confidence. Bizrami set up Yefty, Bridgeman, just before the Motherwell got up the park and score. He already picked it up in the middle in the number 10 position and he squared it across the 18-yard box. So a wee bit disappointed. It looked like he put his instep through it as he connected with the ball when it went over the bar. I thought maybe try to go across it with his foot and maybe angle it for towards the bottom corner. But it was a chance that he had to hit the target. It was a good pass for Bizrami, a good run in for Jeffy because he's been coming inside into that inside left position and go to sail up the park. But it was another chance where he hits the target, he's got a chance of scoring.
Yeah, I think that I think there was a number of really good chances for most of the players that can actually shoot. That boy Bizrami out in the right, out in the left rather, he cut in a couple of shots as well. A wee bit soft, of course, but the keeper managed to gather the ball and get away with it. And I thought their keeper had a really good game against us. But we tend to do that. I've said this before. We tend to make stars out of the opposition goalkeepers because their game's as high as they'll ever be playing against us for whatever reason that is. But Dessers, I'm not kidding on it. Dessers in the first half had 4 chances, in my opinion. 4 chances, if my memory serves me right. And one he put in, and the rest were actually bad. The ball wasn't getting to him because he wasn't in the right position for people crossing the ball. But he said a couple of words of being at me earlier there. He's on his own, and they're set up with a three men defence against them, and we're going to get the one person. I don't know what happened there or why we were doing that, but that's the way we wanted to play, and I think that changed the game, in my opinion. We didn't look as if we were an attacking team, but we broke well. Thought we did quite well. Most of the possession and most of the chances, certainly in the first half, most of the chances, and we couldn't cope. We still couldn't cope with it. For some reason, I don't get the amount of. If your centre forward misses the ball so many times, I'm talking about the old days. You would have some words with him in the pub, after the game. What are you doing? What are you doing? And if after 2 or 3 games, you just wouldn't get a game again if you're doing all that. However, he came on, he scored a good goal last night. Can't take it away from him. But the first half, well, I'll say it was truly a game of 2 halves, and it was really poor for us. Very poor finishing.
Aye, well, that's what happens. As we were talking about, I see it as we had 3 decent chances. Dessers probably the best of the 3 AK. I thought Cherney's could have probably done better. Yefty was coming on to it. He's not been noted for getting up the park and scoring many goals for us at the moment or hitting the target, but Bizrami had been in a bit of form and he's got a bit of quality about him, same as Cherney. And I thought it was a lovely pass across to him. But after we missed these sort of chances, or didn't take them, should I say, Motherwell got the park and score. Who you laying the blame at, AK? For where you were in the ground and the way you seen it develop, who would you?
Well,
who you sticking the finger on, or is there one more than one?
Nah, I think it's collective. I think it's more than one. The first one is obviously we shouldn't be allowing the cross to come in. So that's where Butlin's been pretty angry with Tavernier. Yefty for sleeping. Basically, he didn't see Andy Halliday make a sprint run for the edge of the box. It was a great run, by the way. See, when you see it, the Motherwell guy has obviously caught him out the corner of his eye. And to be fair to Halliday, he's followed the ball in, probably expecting a challenge, to be honest with you, either off of Yefty or even the keeper to come for it. And he's just ghosted in there. He's went with the wrong fit as well. It looked more a right foot at him finish, but he's left foot in it. So, and he done his job. We didn't do ours. For Yefty to basically, I think he was probably looking for Butlin to come and claim that. He didn't come and claim it. He's expecting the ball then to maybe scoot away so he can maybe start an attack. And it's just collective. It's poor, laughable defending, really. It really is. I mean, to go 1-0 down there, all of a sudden you're giving Motherwell something to hang on to right away. And you're like, how we keep doing this to ourselves, shooting ourselves in the foot and gifting their opponents, a goal. And then all of a sudden the atmosphere changes in amongst the Bears. There's disgruntlement, there's anger, there's frustrations, and we're just looking for a reaction then. But to go 1-0 down after all that play, the possession and everything, just you seen it yourself, you heard it yourself. There was a lot of angry guys in that stand watching us.
I think that Yefty.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
His phone lines are open, so hopefully as we're talking about this and see if anybody wants to phone in and see if they would agree with us, who's at fault for the goal. Or anything else they want to talk about Rangers Bridge.
Yeah,
what did you think of yourself?
The goal, well, a ball coming in like that from outside the box. By the way, it's a beautiful ball coming in. That would cause mayhem in any defence. You see that every week in the Premier Division in England. Great crosses into the box. And I thought Yefty, I just said a couple of minutes ago there about match presence, game presence. He backed away and started to turn because he thought the ball was coming to him. He thought that ball was going to him, by the way. It was going to him, but Halliday managed to get in there. By the way, miles ahead of Yefty. But Yefty thought that ball was coming to him, and he was getting prepared to either let it run out the park or pick the ball up and move with it. But most assuredly, Halliday did a fantastic bit of work there, and Yefty never saw that work by him coming in. He never dreamt MD was coming near that ball. But it was like a flash, wasn't it? Halliday ran in, stuck a foot out, and it was there. Brilliantly touched, and a good goal for them. Type of goal that we would love to be able to score. But that to me, that's what it was. To blame for it, Yefty 100%. 100% Yefty's. He should have. He should have seen the man coming, but he was watching. He was trying to do something else. He was thinking that the ball's going to come here to me. It's like sometimes when you see somebody and the ball's maybe coming to him and it's about 10 yards away, and you don't go to it. See if you don't go to the ball. You know yourselves, guys. If you ever kick the ball, you know you've got to go to the ball. Don't wait for the ball to come to you unless your eyes are everywhere and you can see there is not a soul with you. Let it come then and be quite cool and collected. But if it's in the heat of the match and it's inside the box, don't let the ball come to you. My goodness gracious, didn't Andy Halliday show them how? My goodness. Fantastic stuff.
He made a deep run. And at that time, Yefty wasn't even going to see him. I've watched it back now, but yeah. I was behind the goal, right? I had a great view of where the ball came in. I'm telling you, my goalkeeper's shocking at that. That's in his 6-yard box, right? Yeah. Yep. So when the ball's coming in, he should be at least trying to cut it out. Yefty, his body shape he was already turning. I don't know. I can't say for sure. Halliday, at one point when I watched it back, and I was freezing it to watch it to see, and it looks like he's letting near enough next to him. And you'd think, tuck in and make sure that ball's, you're making that ball first, right? I get that. But when you look at his body shape as if he's turning away, and I don't know if he thinks that it's going to come through and then he can take it, or he thinks the goalkeeper's going to just come out and get it and just roll it out to him. I don't know, but his whole body shape was he was turning away, and I don't know if he actually seen Halliday, although in the still pictures, they're literally near enough together in the way the photo was. But your left back, I agree, AK, I think he should be looking to win that ball. But I'm looking at my goalkeeper there. I was right behind Butland. I'm looking at him thinking, what are you doing? Then he just sort of falls down and the ball's in the net, and the first thing he does is gets up and decides to go and shout and ball at Tav. So he's not blaming Yefty then, because he would have had
No.
So I think he was that bad, and I think he was that bad at the goal. He's just went and had a go at Tav, but I think he's culpable for that goal as well, AK.
Absolutely. See the thing about it, and you're right. Yefty's body shape's all wrong because he's got his back to where Halliday's running for. Butland's inexcusable. He sees all that sitting in front of him, and he can see that Yefty's probably ready to run away, thinking that the ball's going to skip through the area, and spin out towards the kind of left hand of the box, right? So Yefty's already made that decision. That's happening right in front of Butland. Butland must, trigger in his head. Well, if he's thinking that, that boy's skipping it, I need to make that ball mine then. I need to make the effort to go and at least challenge. I mean, he might take a sore one, but how many times does a keeper get a decision off a ref, even if Halliday does score? So for me, Butland's bottled that, because he didn't want a sore one, and then he's went away and blamed Tavernier. I mean, that's your vice captain having a go at your captain there. So I don't know whether there's something there with the relationship there, but Tavernier is the first point to call. They stop the ball coming in, but see after that, a ball inside your 6-yard box, a keeper should be braver than what Butland is there. And of course, Yefty's going to get blamed as well. So collectively, it was poor defending, a poor goal to lose. But Motherwell point of view, a brilliant ball in to spot the run of Halliday, and Halliday brave enough, because he's probably expecting a clatter as well, but he didn't. And by the way, I'll also say, fair play to Halliday. I know the Motherwell support would have wanted him to celebrate. To be honest, it wouldn't have perturbed me if Halliday did celebrate, but he's a bear, isn't he? His dad's probably in. That's more to the point. His dad's probably in amongst this, so he didn't want.
That's going to give him a doom when he gets home.
That was certainly there. And other family members.
And I agree with you too. It's like a 1, 2, 3. Number one, Tav, or whomever close to Tav out there, but definitely Tav, should have been able to put the guy off the cross. Not necessarily win the ball, but put the guy off enough to make it not such a good cross. And then Butland is not expecting that cross to come in, because he's expecting Tav to do something different, or something different would happen out in the wing. Maybe a high ball comes in and he can gather that. But both Tav and him, that's the crucial part. 1, 2, and neither of the two of them went near the ball, never came out to the ball, and so on and so forth. But Jefty, criminal left back, should always be at the post. Always be at the post. You know what I mean? When the ball's coming in, always be at the post if you can. And he was close to the post, but he pulled out, and he was fully expecting that ball to come to him. He never saw Halliday and never thought of Halliday, and never thought of anything other than that ball's going to come to me. And he turned his back on it to get himself into a position to gather the ball. That's all I saw. I think Tav was obviously Tav and anyone else out there should have been making sure the guy doesn't get a really good cross in like he did. But he freed him of Hampden. Beautiful cross, and Halliday running onto it was just amazing, just wonderful to watch. And our both the goalkeeper, both Tav, the goalkeeper, and our left back, looked like clowns, didn't they?
Aye, Tav's at fault. He's haunted out there, but it looks at to try and block across. And I get it, when the boys put the ball in, it's swirling slightly away for our goalkeeper to a point. But I've watched it, he's got to come out and make himself big at that point. And Yefty should, when you've looked at it, I don't know what he does, he just seems to turn as if he's thinking, well, I don't know what he's thinking, to be honest, but it's the wrong decision he's made. He should have came in, they say, go and meet the ball. That's what you're told today. Go and meet the ball, stay goal side of your man. Halliday has come in for a deep line run for the midfield. I get that. But I still think my goalie should be big out there, imposing himself or trying to get a horn on it. And I think Yefty should have done a lot better and all. But it was a shocking goal to lose. And then it was interesting, as I said, Butland decided to go out and have a go at Tav and have a debate about it. And that put us 1-0 done. And I just think it was another poor goal to lose. But it's all about the action. And as much as we still huffed and puffed in the first half, we ended up with Barron had a shot for outside the box that the goalie saved. Sort of, one you'd say probably Alex was for the cameras. He sort of dragged it to his right hand side at the edge of the box. Goalkeeper's height going away from him, trying to go across him, but he got his hand to it and he put it out. It was a decent save. It was a shot on target, which might have brought us back into the game. And then Barjami the same. It was a wee bit a weaker shot, maybe done better in the middle of the goal, but he got another shot off in target, which the goalie saved. So that was 2 chances in the game straight after them scoring, where the goalies made 2 saves, although they weren't the world beaters, but the 2 shots were on target.
Aye, you're working the keeper there. At least we're showing a wee bit of effort in that to get back into the game, but there was a almost stunned silence in the Rangers support to be that 1-0 down. I felt it was unfair, but as you say, we should never. It was a run down when you're defending like that, as we did. But then we'd obviously Lawrence going off and Diamondi coming on just before the half time as well. So that was actually a key influence on the game as the game progressed. I thought Diamondi actually worked the Motherwell back line a bit better, a good bit better than what Lawrence was doing, because he was quite static there, wasn't he? And there wasn't much movement off the Dessers beyond him as well. But again, we'll pick that up as the game goes on.
Aye, well, Diamondi did have a wee bit of an influence in the game. I'm sure it was him that had the shot that the goalie parried. He was more mobile than what Lawrence was, Bridgeman. You know, he got about the park. He was taking Motherwell midfielders into other positions they probably didn't want to go into, whereas Lawrence is more sort of static through the middle. You know what you're sort of going to get off him. You don't need to go far to mark him, whereas Diamondi seems to get about the park without being great, but he had that shot that the goalie saves, and then CD9 comes in, and just as he connects with it to hit the side netting, I was aware that he took. I was aware at the game that I was more aware that he hadn't put it in the net to start with, and then I thought, well, obviously that defender had took him out. It wasn't. I seen it later, and I think anywhere else in the park, if you play a pass, if that was him playing a pass, and then getting took out like that, it's going to be a foul all day long, in my opinion.
I think it's you're right there. I think there was a number of offences. He booked one of the Motherwell players quite early on for pulling the guy back, a Rangers player back, and I thought, well, that's good. We're going to get this. This will put a stop to all this nonsense that they're coming away with. But the continuously, no matter where you were, you were getting pulled, arm around you, all that nonsense. They never gave any more yellow cards for it, never. And that was the galling part. The tackles that were going in were above ground, off the floor. Some of them were quite sore, I can imagine, with the Rangers players getting them. And that, to me, that was typical Motherwell. That's all you can say about them. They're not the greatest footballing team, but my goodness, we've got a lot of spirit, and they've got a lot of bulk, big, tall guys, and they can cause a lot of problems in many ways. And one of those ways was knocks. And I don't know whether Lawrence was self-inflicted knock or whether he taken a bang. So I don't know what happened there, to be honest. I haven't heard. I don't know if the manager's even said anything about it. However, we're not going to see too much, but you're right. Outside when you've just released the ball and then to be taken out immediately, then that's a booking, 100% booking, if not a red. That's an assault, and it's ungentlemanly conduct. Anything you want to pay, it's unprofessional. You name it. All of that goes on, and teams like Motherwell will get away with it all the time. Just about all the time when they're playing Rangers. They love to take the Rangers players down, and it's just one of these things about Scottish football. And the referees got tons of chances last night to get that stop these people doing it, stamp it out of the game. We're doing it. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree 100%. That was a foul, easily a foul. If it was in the box, if you know what I mean, it would have been a penalty for me. But you get nothing. You don't get nothing. Because against Rangers, doesn't matter. Play on.
I thought it was in hindsight, AK, after I'd seen it when it came up the road. I would have thought VAR might have looked at it. I don't know if it's because he's missed it, but at the end of the day, there wasn't much in it between him placing the pass and anybody else in the park. I believe if you're making a pass or a shot or anything like you're getting took out like that, it's a free kick.
Aye. That's what I thought. I mean, at the time, I'm just raging with Dessers with missing that opportunity. But obviously, where we sit in behind that goals, it's very difficult to see that far away up the park. And as I say, only when I seen the highlights again at night, that it looked to me as if the boy just come right through Dessers. So for me, that should have been a penalty, because I think he actually got a good 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes of treatment, and that's where the injury time came for as well, because we ended up playing an extra 4 minutes, didn't we? So he took a clap, but thankfully he was okay to carry on in the game. But aye, penalty for me.
It was strange. I don't know why they never looked at it. Maybe because the ref never indicated it.
Have we had a penalty this year? I don't think we have we?
Tav scored a penalty.
I think he has.
Did he? Oh, right.
The only goal he scored. It's the only goal he scored, I think. He scored a penalty.
But I thought, I'll come, Davey, I know you're in, mate. I'll come to you in a wee second, pal, all right? I thought for the first half, although we weren't sparkling and anything, I thought we had enough shots at sort of their goal than what we've done of recent. I thought we made Motherwell camp more back in the rain half. I think for the one time they ventured up the park and they nicked a goal. Apart from that, I thought we're doing 1-0. I thought, well, I didn't think we deserved that. I didn't think we'd maybe deserved to have took the lead, but I didn't think we deserved to be going in at 1-0 doing it that time. I thought, guys. Davey, how about you?
How you doing, guys? I'm fine. I'm getting settled in.
Evening, David.
Evening, boys.
Evening, David.
Good. Just to
What's
throw
your
in my top.
thoughts, David? What's you want to say?
Aye, a couple of wee issues earlier about we're discussing the goal, who was to blame. I mean, it's a collective blunder there. But the goalkeeper was shocking. You can blame the other guy all you like. The goalkeeper, and when you turn around and say Butland wasn't expecting a cross, who are you kidding? There's only one guy out in the wing. It's got to come into the box. And how many times has he done? For a big guy like that, he's been shocking. And here's my way I look at it. The ball was coming in. He sees it. Now, never mind where the other two are. It's his ball all day long. And the way you're seeing Jetty turning, yeah, this is just my explanation for it. A fallback, he sees it. He's saying, that's a goalie's ball. I'm going to go around. I'm going to get away so I can get a quick pass so he can throw it out of me when he get caught rotten. But to turn around and say, it's not a goalkeeper's fault, guys. You're living in cuckoo land.
I blamed him, Davey. I thought he had a big responsibility. I know the ball sort of was crossed, sort of coming away from him. It's in his 6-yard box. And as you say, he sees the ball coming in, everything's in front of him. And all he has to do is track the ball. That's all he has to do. and then go and make it his. And behind the goal, I believe, looking at it at the time I seen it, it was his fault. I've rewatched it and seen it, and I still think he's got a big part. I agree, Yefty could have went in and went for the ball, but see, when you see his whole body shape, as you talk about, Davey, I think he believes that goalkeeper's getting this, and then he's going to release me down the left-hand side.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, Suicide, and I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But if I play fullback, and if you are looking at it and you've got a good goalie, and I don't know if he shouted to him or what, it didn't look like if he... Butler should be shouting, that's my ball. But Jeffy, to me, looked, that's the goalies. And what happens when you're a fullback, if you think the goalie's getting the ball, you start to go out of the box to get a throw out to start the game again. That's the way I looked at it. Could be miles out, could be totally wrong. But I don't think so. Because Butler was shocking.
Bottom left post again. AK, everybody will have different opinions. Listen, if a cross doesn't come in, then there's not going to be any trouble. Your fullback probably should be tucking in, facing the ball, making sure that he's going to go and get it. I think as it was coming in, I just think I know it's slightly going away. He's curling it in. I get all that. But I just think my goalie, in his 6-yard box, your goalie should be commanding. No matter what way the ball's coming in or whatever, it's in his 6-yard box, and he should be commanding, AK.
Absolutely. Davey, we're all in agreement, pal. It's a collective culmination of errors. As I say, Tavernier should be more, keener to go out and cut down the ball at source. It shouldn't be coming into the box in the first place. In Butland, as I say, he sees everything before him. He sees that the Motherwell's got a runner coming towards him. Be brave. Go and collect that. That's your ball. But Yefty turned his back as well. He shouldn't be doing that. His body shape's all wrong. He should be going to meet the ball. It's just, it looks as if it's a lack of communication, a lack of somebody taking responsibility. And it ended up with a goal. If one of them take responsibility better than what they did, that wouldn't have went to a goal. Simple as that for me. So a bit of schoolboy defending, but it put us 1-0 down. And to be honest with you, Southside, we weren't great the first half, but we weren't as bad as everybody makes them out to be either. But neither were Motherwell. That was the only time I can remember, maybe the entire game, certainly the first 45 minutes, where they were in our box. Motherwell offered absolutely nothing in that game. So lack of quality for us up front, definitely. Lack of quality in defending, put us 1-0 down, definitely. But whatever the gaffer said at half-time, the changes he made, probably gave him a rollicking, but we came out a far better team the second half. We should start the game that way, and we shouldn't be going 1-0 down in these sort of games, I think the gaffers actually said that the team looked nervous or whatever. Come on, you're playing for Rangers. You've got 30,000 people. They're expecting you to win. Get me, the guys are all there getting behind you. If this is the sort of characters that we've got in our team, then wrong choices of players again, or something needs to change big time.
Well, it changed in the second half. I think Butland alluded to it in one of the interviews I saw, that it wasn't just the gaffer. There was other players Bridgeman, that seemingly said their bit at half time. And I thought it was a decent goal that we scored. Desser's done something I've not seen him do for a long time. I didn't notice it at the game, but I noticed it when I'd watched the replay back, that he'd actually, as Tierney made the passes, Conor Barron ran into the box, and it was he nutmegged the guy to play it into Conor Barron's path. And as he sort of put it across, Desser's made a sort of as if he was going to the front post, and one of their defenders went and he took a step back. But see, behind the goal, it was like in slow motion, Bridges the ball come along, and I'm thinking, Dessers, when's this ball going to get you to finish it? It felt like slow motion as it was coming along, but he finished it well. And it was the first time he'd sort of moved a defender in the box. Because when I looked back and watched the replay, there's actually 4 Motherwell players running round about him, but he makes that space that Conor Barron picked him out, and it was a good goal, and it certainly got us back in the game.
I thought it was a sensational goal for Rangers. That's the way I felt when it went in. I was really as high as a kite when it went in. Brilliant play by interplay by the Rangers players, just brilliant. Lovely short passing and a lovely ball into Dessers' feet, right to his feet. Beautiful ball for Conor Barron. Brilliant, well played. And can I just say, I give him all the credit in the world. That was a really, really good goal by all of the team that were involved in the passing. It really was a really good goal, and well done, Dessers. Other than that, I don't know about Dessers at all. He's like an enigma. We've said this so many times. It's just unbelievable. But what a really good goal for Rangers right at that time. Fantastic. And that set us up to go ahead.
Hi, Davey. We got back in the goal trail after the first time in about 8 games. And it's a critical time because we have to hit back early. Because once we scored that goal, it gave us a bit more purpose. Obviously, we make the subs in the 67th minute. That sort of changes the game again for us before we make another sub later on. But at that time, when we got the equaliser so early, I just thought, that's it. We'll end up winning this now. There's no way we're not going to win this now. You know, we scored right at the right time, Davey.
Yeah, you're spot on. I think Tierney made the big difference to the way we were set up, or the way we started coming in for the flanks, you know. But it's going back to the tackle on Dessers. That's a stonewall penalty. I mean, they don't even go to VAR. I mean, he has to go in too. Whether he never played the ball. Because I'm not making an excuse for Dessers. Dessers had plenty of time to side foot that ball into the net. It was after he hit it, the guy came through him. But you do that anywhere else in the park, it's a foul. Probably a booking. But we got to live with these kind of things. My main concern was if we don't score early in the second half, and we've seen this picture umpteen times, we will start to struggle. And they can't in because we can break down a bar of chocolate. But we got to go at the right time, marvelous goal. And you could see the manager saying, see what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I want. But that's not been happening. That's what he's trying to get there. And everybody that's getting on Comanche's case, you're bottom up around 3. I mean, even the formation, I've said to Ox as well, I don't agree with the formation. Because I don't agree with the formation because we don't have the players to play that type of formation. But when we get that kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 opening them up, it works.
We played a 4-3-3 a bit yesterday, Davey.
Yeah,
you could see the 4-3-3 with Demonde pulling in and to Barron. That's how Barron scores the goal because he's playing as an 8. Raskin was sitting just right across the middle of the park. Diamondi went for like the 10 position and the 8 position. If he wanted to overload one of the wings, he would come out to the left. But there was times that the formation was in a 4-3-3 and all yesterday. AK, I don't know if you noticed that during the game, but it allowed Diamondi and Barron, allowed the Barron to go forward into the box, which he doesn't do very often. AK.
Aye, no, you're right. You're right. In game time, it's better. You see the bigger picture than what the camera does following the ball. At times, actually, we looked as if we played a 2-4-4 in the Motherwell half. But obviously, they were getting deeper. They were camping on the edge of their box, and it was getting more difficult to get in behind them. They resorted to playing wee intricate passes, and the introduction of Danilo coming onto the park with Diamondi already there. With Tierney, I thought he was bright the entire game, and obviously the quality that Bajrami's got as well. I think that was better for us having the players on the park rather than your Dessers or Lawrence or that. So no, the changes did in effect win the game for us.
I think we got the goal that early, and obviously they were thinking that they'd come out. And they probably thought they could sit in, frustrate us for a bit, as you were saying. David, they wanted it sort of going to go longer, but we get that breakthrough, and then for then on after that, it was like one-way traffic until we can get the second goal. I thought, I think it was Barrett, it was Tierney. Sorry, it was Jeffy. Sorry, it was Jeffy. Had a shot, goalie made a good save down at his post. And I remember the pressure was going on then. Tav missed one where it was a good sort of move. Benzrambi got to the byline, I think, with Jeffy, and then he cut it across. I don't know. I know he's standing there, Davey, but it get flashed across. So a few players made a run at the front post. He just seemed to open his foot as the ball got to him, and I don't know if he'd seen it really coming, Tav, because normally Tav would have hit the target, but I don't think it. I've heard people saying it was an open goal. I was behind that goal. It wasn't an open goal, believe me. But it went flashed across that quick. And I just think maybe do we expect Tav Field to have hit the target? Probably, you know. But he wasn't having one of these days.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I mean, I was looking at it. First of all, I looked at it myself and I went, oh, come on. Then I looked at it again, but that ball was coming. I'm no way am I going to blame Tavernier for no scoring. He's a fullback. All right, he scores goals and he scores good goals. But the way the speed of that ball was coming, it was just a fast reaction, and he just got over the top of it a wee bit. So yeah, I wouldn't have criticism of that at all. But I think that when we changed the shape of the team, or whether we changed the shape, or what we changed in the personnel, that made a big difference to us. And I hope he's seen that now, because it's a glaring lesson for him to look at it and say, that's what I want, and you're not going to get it if you keep playing the two guys he took off. I just don't think we're going anywhere with. I mean, Tav's run his race. He's been a great servant, marvellous. Can't ask for more. But it's time after time we're watching it, and then he decides, I think I've had enough of this, which I think everybody is taking into consideration. Maybe he's seen a wee bit of daylight now. He's seen where we're heading and what's not happening. Don't know what you think of that, guy.
Talking about daylight, I don't know if that's him just up or not, but I think we've been joined by Big Stevie. How you doing, Mucker?
Stevie. How you doing, Big Stevie?
All right. Is that a bridge, man? Is that a legend there, aye?
He's going for a testimonial, Stevie. We'll need to sort that out. Have a committee meeting.
Not a problem. I'll get the band to march around the drum. His place of birth. Not a problem. Listen, boys, I'm on to AK. How are you, mate? All right?
Aye, bang on, pal. Bang on.
That's all right. Aye. How's Burnbank? He's a wee Rain Mountain. Kill a man for a gyro, huh? How's all Burnbank do?
Oh, definitely. Jungle Derry, big man.
Jungle Derry, that's the old clansman, huh? Memories. What was I going to say? Boys, I'm on to just kind of break it up a wee bit. I've got to say that the Rangers support were absolutely fantastic this Sunday. When I went home, I went into my local chippy and she couldn't even make me out. My voice had gone. We sang the A to Z, and I'll tell you what, see that new song, Let Me Tell You I Love You. Oh, man. How good is that when all the Bears get it together? Huh? Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Even when we're getting beat, the UB, the boys were there. I watched the two boys, by the way. I think there were three at one point, but it's the loudspeaker ring.
There was three of them,
by the way, they put more energy into what they did than that team did in the first half. There you go. And I've got to congratulate them on their display and everything they boys do. I've just got to say it, because sometimes we look to the heavens the way our team's playing, and they boys keep going and going and going, and it's absolutely brilliant. And another thing that's concerning me is I was listening to a lot of people on the way out of Hampden going over. So now we've got Celtic to face. They kind of, listen, see, in a one-half game, I fancy us with anybody. Thin line, thin margins have beat us in games. And I'm not making excuses up, because we have been bad as well. There's people folding like a pack of cards and stuff like that. But see if we can just get it right on the day, we'll give them a run for their money. By the way, we'll give them a run for their money. So, listen, Southside, I'll be looking for a spare, okay, for the cup final. Okay, if you can manage, but we'll not get into it on air, because you don't like the ball drums. All right.
Aye, I know. There'll be a few that wasn't there yesterday. Will be looking for me on, no doubt.
Oh, 100%. 100%. EK, you were there, weren't you?
I was so, mate. I've still got that blue smoke in my lungs today. Brilliant though. What a great atmosphere, as you say.
Oh, listen, we don't give ourselves a bit of credit. There's positives there. That support's a positive. No matter what's going on in the field or what's going on in the board, that support is what keeps us all alive, man. Keeps us sane. Absolutely. And we sang the 80s Ed. It was absolutely fantastic. But listen, boys, I just came on. Is Al Butt there? Is Al Windy Cleaner there?
I'm here, young man. I'm here.
Right, listen, I spoke to Alec Black, my mate, it's the funeral director. He's got to give you 10% off. Okay, you're getting golden charter all the way. All right.
So, that's Stevie in the Hall of Fame.
Aye, no, just in case he takes a Viagra and he chokes on it. No, I mean, we're at window cleaner here. He'll be looked after. Don't worry about that. Brass handles all the way. That buffet. There you go.
That's very kind of you, Stevie. I'll mention that to the wife.
Right, okay. Tell her you're good hands with the boys. The band don't march you to your place anyway. Don't worry about that all day, my boy. Hey, boys, listen. I think Stevie's getting into his Elvis onesie. It's night time for work. Okay, you just keep it going. But I'll tell you what.
Elvis onesie.
The Rangers have got the best support in the world. We've never let ourselves down. We're brilliant, man. And just that's the positive. Always be positive. Try your best. I know what's happening. I know everybody's got a right to have their own wee platform to say what they want. Nobody's saying that. But look, we're going through a rough time, but the support's always going to be there. Just keep it going. Well done, boys. Night, night.
See you later, big man. He's gone already. No, it's true what he says. It's true what he said, AK. The support was brilliant yesterday. You know, the UB certainly kept it going throughout the 90 minutes. And it was a full credit to them that they keep it going, because sometimes, as you know, Ibrox as well, without them, can be quiet. Hampden, as we've seen, is hard sometimes to generate a good atmosphere in about the stadium. But they certainly done the business yesterday.
As you say, where I was standing as well, the guys on the megaphones, man, they were going mental. It was brilliant. It was great to see. Just pure passion, you know, and keep everybody singing, keep everybody going, and their renditions of that Ibroxonia. It was great to be in amongst them. But I tell you, last night, see when Motherwell scored, thing with the boys ahead of me, I don't know if it was an overspill of the UB or that, but they knew every song, every word to every song they were singing. But Motherwell scored, and then I got a thud in the back of my leg. One of them had kicked the chair, then whacked the back of my leg. He was full of apologies.
All right, so you're blaming somebody else for you. Is that what you're doing? Bridgeman, are you listening to this? I suppose it's the way to go, isn't it? It's the way to go, I suppose, when you get collared. You always say, it's the me officer, isn't it, Bridge?
Aye.
Absolutely.
The guys were brilliant, though. Great.
Aye, Davey, how did it sound listening to it yesterday on the telly?
It's marvellous. But the boys have been doing it all the time. I'm even right when we're losing to Kilmarnock, right up team when the whistle blew. All right, it was a different song they were singing after the whistle blew. But right up to the end, they'll no give up. But that's the cry, innit? We don't surrender. And they boys just typify everything regarding that expression. So, I mean, hats off to them.
Aye, I know. It's a big effort they make, and they all turn up. And sometimes at away games, they all don't get in, or because maybe the ticket situation, and some of them probably have just been unlucky that game, certain away games, but you can see some of them outside looking.
I was just going to say to you, I don't know if you heard National Radio after the game thing where it was listening to Keevins and that. He was actually blaming the Rangers support yesterday for having empty spaces at Hampden. Rangers had 30,000 supporters there. It was Motherwell that handed back their allocation. They had only 8,000 there. And for some reason, we're getting the blame for that. Are we in chase yourself, Keevins? More negativity for the club that we don't need.
No, I don't even know. Never heard anything about it. I thought the support that turned up yesterday done the team proud, because you've got a lot of money to shell out as you get through the season. They've been in and took the Tottenham money, I believe. They'll have Olympiacos money to pay for this Thursday for the away game, and then you're back to Ibrox on the Sunday, and then obviously the big games are coming thick and fast. It's a lot of money for a lot of people, and as you say, the demand's always there for the games away from home, usually in Europe. But listen, maybe a few Bears couldn't make it yesterday for various reasons, possibly, but we took over 30,000 there as a support, and we'll not be able to take that amount when we get to a final against them, because we'll only get about 23,000 or something each, and the rest go to sponsors as usual, Bridgeman.
Yeah, absolutely. And well done to the Rangers fans, absolutely. And the comment about Radio Clyde, and somebody commented, was it Hugh Keevins, I think he said, he was commenting about the Rangers fans no buying up the tickets or words to that effect, and that's to be expected all the time. It's to be expected from the press and the radio stations, of course, televisions as well. There's never any good comment about Rangers or what Rangers are trying to do. That it's always wrong, and it's bad press for us constantly.
Aye. Oh, listen, at the end of the day, sometimes as supporters, sometimes there's a miss. We can usually have an own goal at times. Let's say it happens, but on the whole, I think they do a lot for the club, and I think they're vocal. I think the boys are all passionate. They follow Rangers everywhere, home, away, and abroad. And sometimes I think, hopefully, as we go on, we'll get behind the team at Ibrox, Stevie, because some of the games that I understand, you're getting St Mirren at Ibrox, you've got Dundee at Ibrox, and you're turning up because you're expecting to see a Rangers win. But first and foremost, I always put it onto the onus of the players. It's down to them. Yeah. It's down to them to come out, start like they mean to go on. They want to win. You can see a chance getting created early, pressure, and just the right attitude, and that would normally carry the support. But it's hard to sing for 90 minutes against some of these teams. But the UB certainly there, regardless of who we play.
Yeah, I think that if there's any criticism regarding the crowd, is I think the way the games have been getting played and panning out, the expectations is always going to be, well, they can't be as bad as the last time. And that's not been happening. We are as bad as the last time. So if we don't start that, the players have got to give the crowd something to get them involved. And that's not been happening. But once you get on the front, get in the lead or start playing a bit of good, the crowd will come. The boys, if they take the boys out of the equation, it's like God in my funeral. There's been no noise. I've lost you.
No, I've got you there. Sorry, I was just saying something that I'll maybe read it after the break. But because we're coming to the tune time. But they deserve a bit of credit, like I say. They do well. But I think we've lost the plot now, because I was going to talk about a second goal, which we've not got to now, because we've had 2 callers, but we'll come to the tune. So if you guys would like to hit a mute now, and David, just hit your phone and you mute while we have a tune, and we'll talk to you after the break, pal, all right?
That's the reason why I feel so very proud today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row, and I'm still dreaming of Brian Laudrup and Trevor Stephen. Marvin Andrews said keep believing. Davy Cooper on the wing. We remember Gaza with great affection, the day the helicopter changed direction. Jemmy Baxter, he was pure perfection. Super Ali scores again. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had.
Aye, that's a version that's done by Robin Keane.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, did you like that one, AK?
Aye, that's not only is Big Stevie sorted the the box.
I know
we've
we've
also
sorted it. We've sorted Davy's tune.
Oh, brilliant.
Davy, you know we're only kidding, pal. It's nearly your birthday,
I know
mate. It's
you're
nearly
only
your
kidding.
birthday. It's nearly your birthday.
It's coming on. Coming on.
It's a classy tune, all the same. And see when you hear the Bears singing that, it's just the hairs in the back of your neck stand up, Southside, eh?
Aye, it's good. Sometimes it can go on a bit more longer than normal. I think the one I seen down we were doing at Birmingham. I seen the one up in the video. It was 9 minutes long. We sang it for down in Birmingham. But aye, everybody seems to enjoy it, and it's good when you hear it ripple right round the stadium, isn't it? You know, that's what makes it song. I know there's a few people out there not happy with it. I think we've hijacked a song, but it's been out for a long time actually. It's been about, as you know, Bobby Parks brought it out a long time ago, and it's now the Union Bears have took it on.
Aye, definitely. Well, listen, if it spurs on the team to produce better, then hopefully they feed off of that, because for me, the noises, support, getting behind the team, I think had a positive influence on the team progressing.
All right, I'll touch on this. I think they released a statement to UB, AK. We released it, I think, today. I know they had a banner up on Sunday regarding it as well. If you want to read out what they've put out there for the support.
No bother. Right, it's an official statement for Union Bears. It's saying, following our match against Motherwell in September 2023, the group were confronted and attacked by Police Scotland inside Ibrox Stadium whilst attempting to leave the ground with group materials. Even with CCTV evidence at their disposal, Police Scotland believed that they could once again target key members of the group by conspiring to make false statements, which resulted in 5 group members being arrested and charged. These charges would lead to 8 court appearances and combined a total of 40 days off work and £15,000 in lawyer fees. Our members were acquitted once again this week following a 4-day trial. 5 police witnesses testified, but were all deemed unreliable, with the sheriff stating that the majority of evidence presented by police might actually be in contempt of court. The sheriff also observed that the level of force and batting strikes were clearly excessive, as it was clear from the video evidence presented that there was no justification cause for such force to be used. We were also advised by court that we were fortunate to have any video evidence to confirm our claims of excessive and unneeded force by Police Scotland during this incident. As a result, we would encourage all supporters to record any future encounters that they may have with Police Scotland at games due to the clear and unhinged agenda against football fans and Rangers fans in particular. Signed off, Union Bears.
Aye, good on them. Good on them. But aye.
Shocking, by the way. Shocking.
Aye, Davy. I mean, sometimes that's what they're up against, you know. But I think that's the fourth time that they've had a win in recent times against being unlawfully arrested for certain things, and I think that's 4 times in a row. But aye, listen, when you go to football grounds, Davy, it's policed a lot differently nowadays as well. You could see the way we came out of Aberdeen when they had us in a convoy doing 2 mile an hour and buses were having to stop, get attacked and whatever. And all the police had to do was just push them down the road a wee bit in certain junctions, and the buses could have come right out of Aberdeen without incidents happening on the way out. But that's just the way it is at the moment. So hopefully the next time we're up in Aberdeen, they'll clean their act up for when we're leaving their city. Bridgeman.
Yeah, it's scandalous, actually. It's absolutely scandalous. And I know it's hitting the headlines again over the last couple of years, but I seem to have calmed down for a wee while. When I say seem to have, I think we've been the target of the police for many a long year, and that when we were down in the lower divisions, it was a wee bit easier, but you know, they were still there. They still wanted hundreds of police just to look after the Rangers fans and stop them doing what they want. It's just nonsense. It all needs to get changed. It does. And it's, as I say, it was bad in my time when I was young, going to Ibrox and many thousands of others. And the amount of guys that get picked up and sort of stuck in the van, and away you go. I'm not going to say I was one of them, but I was. You know, if you follow what I mean. But it's always been there to a certain extent, but lately, back again. You know, I'm really pleased that the Union Bears did what they did, stuck to their guns, and got them into court and got the case won. And I hope they get all the costs all paid for, and so they should, because what the treatment they've been through, nothing short of disgraceful, in my opinion. Nothing short of disgraceful.
Yeah.
Like I say, sometimes people class it as own goals that they've had in the past and that, and some people think they can be a pain, but at the end of the day, they're passionate, they're out to support the club, and if they've got a case to answer, which they certainly did have, the police and that, and it gets sorted, so hopefully they're happy with what's happened, and if there's any compo for the guys that have lost time off work and whatever else, then hopefully they'll get compensated. Maybe the club could come out and make a statement as well. I don't know, but end of the day, it is what it is, and they've made a statement, so just hope we put it out the other night for people to hear. I believe we didn't even get to the second goal that was scored by Rami. This show's well scripted, isn't it? Anyway, we'll talk about that quickly. I thought Danilo, when he came on, obviously had made the subs in that, Davy. And the fact that Danilo made the run in Cherney, his vision and his passing is really good. He's been really at it the last few games since he missed that Leon chance. He's been scoring and assisting. He's got a football brain, and I think Bizrami's got a football brain inside him. I think they're two quality players. And I think it was, once he got the ball at the time, I thought he's going to score. Took that wee deflection, but he still finished it, Davy.
Yeah, but can I ask you this, Suicide? Do you think do you think that's his natural position? Because I get a feeling sometimes when you look at our team, there's quite a few players playing not in the right positions. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just see it that way.
AK, what do you think? What Davy's saying?
Oh, sorry, I was reading the thing with her. Sorry, what did you say, David, again?
You reading my obituary?
About Bezrami, was it?
I was talking about him. Suicide was saying about how he was playing and different things and blah blah blah. And I was just saying, do you think he's been getting played in a natural position that suits him? Because I see a lot of players running about who shouldn't be maybe in that kind of position. Like, you know, we've talked about where Tavernier play. We've talked about a few other players. You know, but I feel Beltrami.
Oi.
He knows him well. He knows him well, Bridgeman.
The false teeth are moving about.
Listen, Bezrami was bought as a 10, that's what Clement actually came out and said, but I think he's been forced to play him out in that left position and now because of the injury. We've got to Matondo and Cortez, and you know, we're just a wee bit light in that area. McCausland doesn't suit any time he's went out there. So I think that's more to do with as soon as the likes of Cortez or that comes back, you might well see him. But he also plays there internationally for Albania, so it's not as if he's uncomfortable playing the role, but I think he would have more effect on the game, as you say, if he did play the 10. Because you know he can have more influence on the game then, particularly if he's linking up with. He's better if he's got Danilo in front and put it that way. That's going to be a bit more movement, and then you can involve Czerny coming in, and you know, see we've got movement up front. That's what makes a good front line. But obviously the end product is putting the ball in the back of the net, and he done that yesterday. So good on him.
I think he's a good player, Bridge. I think he's got good close control. He's got a good brain, good vision. He's good balance. But I know he scored a few goals outside the box before he came to us, and he seems to be no bad at it. I know he plays in a wider sort of role sometimes for Albanian national team. I think he works hard, and I think once we get a wee bit more quality up front and probably him in the 10 position, I think you'd see a lot more mobility, and I think you'd just go and commit players, take them on, maybe just get that shot off at the edge of the box. Lawrence can score the good goals. We get that. He's good with both feet outside the box, but he's not been performing it enough, and I think we need somebody like Bezrami in there full time going forward once we get a left winger. But I think now he's doing an effective job. He can come inside and it lets Shefty go down the outside. And I think they two linked up pretty well yesterday as well. I think they've been forming a decent partnership together.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. But a couple of wee difficulties with him is that his presence on the park when he's got his back to when he's coming back to our goal, he tends to get somebody comes from behind and tackles him or kicks the ball away or something like that. So he loses the ball quite a lot that way. But I like him going forward. I think he's a smashing player, and he's getting used to playing in Scotland. It's a very quick game in Scotland, particularly something like Motherwell yesterday were heavily defensive. But my goodness gracious, when they broke, and when they pressed. So all the teams in Scotland can do a similar job, and he needs to get the ball and clear the ball or pass the ball or whatever he's got to do, rather than let himself get tackled like that and then bundled over. And the referees won't give a free kick for that again when it's against Rangers. They just don't do it. So he's got to watch out with these things. But I think a smashing player, and of course I love the goal he scored. Absolutely loved it. Had a couple of chances in the game, and I thought he kind of fluffed his lines just at the right time, you know. But no, I think he's a smashing player. Can I just comment on the changes, the substitutions that were made when Kaz and Wera come on for Balogun, and it's as if he'd been playing that position for a long time, you know. So I think he's quite comfortable in the central defensive area as well. Kaz and Wera, I thought he did very well, and I think they brought on the big Sterling for Tav, and he slotted into the right back position and looked good. So I think that made a big difference. And Danilo, hats off to him for what he'd been through. He came on and he chased everything he could. But some lovely touches, that boy. When you get him on the ball, lovely touches. his link-up play is going to be marvellous. If he can keep going and he gets his fitness and nobody absolutely kills him on the pitch, like a brilliant player. I love him to bits. I think he's going to be a smashing player for us if we can keep him on the park and make sure he's protected and nobody stands over him. What I hate to see some of our better players getting battered to the ground and then the opposition players standing over him, goading them, you know. And that's what happens. They get goaded and then all of a sudden things break out. Get every player available, just run out and shove the guy away out the way, beat it, you know, that kind of thing. So give him a bit of protection. That's what I want to see. And I think Danilo was part of the second goal. Just absolutely wonderful stuff. Love it.
Hi, Danilo's totally different player up front. Davy, he's got movement. I think players haven't really seen much of him in Scotland, so they'll be a bit unsure of what he can do, really. You know, they've not seen a lot of him. But he's a different type of player. He played a lovely wee pass. He found space in the box and he played a wee nice pass into Czerny, who had the shot and the goalie saved it down at his right-hand post. It was Czerny going across him. And I thought, as Bridge mentioned, Sterling, Casemiro, they gave you power, they gave you athleticism, strength. Yeah. Even Big Sterling, I think it was late in the game, he chased the ball back. The winger was going to get away from him and he had to track back. And he just more or less got along the side of him and then just sort of gave him a wee nudge and just eased the ball off him and took it and gave it into Suter. His recovery late on in the game, it was into injury time. I noticed that because he'd been caught up the park a wee bit and he just knocked the ball down the line. So I'm hoping that Sterling can start to get fit, Davy. He's been struggling with fitness for a long time. And he needs to prove that he can start to play at least 2 games out of 3 as this cycle's going on, going forward. I don't know what he'll do on Thursday, but he needs to establish a right-back position going forward so that when we go to sell him in time, or should somebody come and look for him, he'll be our right-back that you can say, well, he's our right-back. That's where he plays every week. You can see him now. Can he keep moving about? Probably Casemiro, you can move about the now. But Sterling probably has to, fitness-wise, has to make sure that right-back's his.
Aye.
Do you think, can I ask a question? Sorry. I was just going to ask you a question there, guys.
Carry on.
Do you think he'll play, do you think he'll drop Tav for the European game?
It's a different game altogether. He could play Tav, he's away from him. It's a European game, might want a bit of experience and he might play him regardless. You know, if he doesn't, then he just takes him straight out. But then I'd leave him out then for the 2 games until after the break, you know. So I don't know what he'll do, Bridge, to be honest. Thursday comes, maybe let the boys that are going to be on talk about that near the time. So I don't know, Bridge, I really don't. But it's a totally different game. Does he deserve to start? No, Davy. Doesn't he deserve to start, does he?
No, I don't think. I mean, that game's a wee bit away. We're talking about Sunday's game, but no, I think he's got to show. Come on, he's got to show a reaction to and stick by where he's committed himself now. Because when we're talking about substitutions, too many times I've seen the substitutions coming on and not making one jot of a difference. Well, I've seen it differently on Sunday. I think as soon as he made the changes, we looked a different animal altogether. Nothing great, no getting carried away, but I think we looked what we should have looked a long while ago, is more compact. And if he goes and reverts back to same old again, we're heading into the doldrums.
That'll come down to Sterling and fitness as well. AK, he's got to be fit and available, so we can say, right, we're not playing him, but so you need to go in there at right back. You know, you need to be fit and available. Casemiro, I think, as far as I believe, he played most of his time at centre back in the last club he was at. I know he's obviously versatile, but I think he played more in the centre back role. But Sterling was a guy who came for the Chelsea Academy. He played right back. We signed him because that's where we thought we would be playing him. He obviously signed in come up with Beale and probably thought, well, he did say, I'll get in this team. But for whatever reason, his fitness has let him down.
You're right. And Balogun's got the same issue as well. Sometimes, I know he's played a run of the last 2-3 games, but he's no lasted the entirety of the game. Going back to your own point, Davey, did the subs make a difference yesterday? 100%. Cast your mind back to last week. Did the subs make a difference against St Mirren? 100%. But who came off the bench to change the game? Tavernier and Dessers. And that's where the quandary is for the gaffer, isn't it? So, but for me, the team that we had finishing the game yesterday certainly looked better than the team we had starting the game yesterday. So there needs to come to a point where we need to start weeding out Tavernier. No give him a starting jersey, maybe use him as an impact sub, because this is going to be a difficult game on Thursday. You know, Olympiacos is an intimidating stadium. I don't know if you've been there before, Southside, but the Greek stadiums are a volatile atmosphere, to say the least. You need these boys and their boys to grow up big time. You know, you need a calming influence in there. You need leaders, but this is where you stand up and prove you're worthy wearing that jersey. Is Tavernier that captain, that leader? He's no for me. So I would give Sterling a start on Thursday, and that's just my opinion.
Aye, I would at all, but he's got to be fit, and that's the issue. So hopefully he will be fit and available to get picked, and then hopefully the manager will make the right decision when it comes Thursday. But it's a few days away yet, and things can change. You know what happens? Some of your players can go out of bed and end up being injured, Bridgeman. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah, you just don't, do you? But I think that it's intriguing what AK was saying about one game we bring on Tav and Dessers, and it changes the game for us. And the next game we take them off and it changes the game for us, you know. And it's kind of what a situation the manager's getting himself into, or not getting himself into, but will be in the run up to the game, because they're, shall we say, from a Rangers perspective, they're experienced players. They've played a lot of games for Rangers, both Tav and Dessers now. The difficulty is young Sterling's not played that much this season so far. And, you know, Danilo has not played that much up front either, you know. So I just don't know. The dilemma's there. I don't wish the manager any bad, but I think he's got to start. To me, he's got to start with the team that finished up the other night. It's just got to happen like that. It's just got to, otherwise people are going to say, what on earth are we doing, you know? But we never know. They might play they two and they star for us, get a couple of goals each or something like that. You just never know. I don't think it's going to happen like that, but I would hope we could be able to do something. But the stronger people at the back, for me, the better. The easier players like Danilo, somebody that can hold the ball properly, can control the ball properly, would be far more advantageous for Rangers than Dessers, so the ball kicks off his leg. Supposed to be able to pull it down, he can't pull it down, for it bumps off him. So that's the way I think anyway, you know. So forgive me. I think that the dilemma is the managers, and I wish him all the best with it.
Well, we can't play the same team anyway on Thursday night because the deal was in the European squad and that.
Oh, of course, I forgot about that. I was so looking forward to seeing him there too.
Well, you'll know. You maybe have to wait till Sunday at Ibrox Bridge. But aye, listen, he's back, Danilo. He's getting some game time. He'll figure. I don't know if he played the day in that friendly. I've not found out yet. But if he played the day in the friendly and then he plays one Sunday, gets some minutes, whether he starts or comes on, and then it's a 2-week break. So hopefully by the time he comes back, we've got to end up getting him back into the squad. Fitness-wise, ready to go. We've got a lot of big games coming up. They're all coming thick and fast. And we need everybody possible fit and available. So hopefully Sterling will have his fitness up and he can start to get that position and make it his own should he play the number of games. And if we need to use Casemiro in centre defence for any reason, AK they'll come to Davy, then he just put him right in there. If he's no think Proper's going to cut the mustard, then I think he'll have to make that decision. Is he going in before Proper, and Proper's going to sit and bide his time, or do you just put Proper in on Thursday night? Does he start him and just keep Balogun for the Sunday, because the league games are the most important at the moment for me, or the European games?
Aye, it's a bit of a quandary. The Clement's back to sell into a corner a wee bit here, because all of a sudden Proper, for being the kind of main guy, the guy that was meant to replace Golson, the kind of senior pro, the leader in the back line, his number 1 centre half is now his number 4 centre half. You probably get sort of Balogun, Cash and Werno before Proper, so that's a problem that Proper needs to sort himself out there for that. That's basically Clement admitting that it's a poor signing in his behalf. But listen, if Balogun's fit, then I think him and Suter are proven to be probably the best centre half pairing in now. I like Cash and Werno, but again, the Balogun issue is there with his fitness. It's just that if you do play the likes of Sterling in your defence, you've already got Yefty there, you've got Cash and Werno. All of a sudden, you're talking guys early 20s, and John Suter becomes a senior pro in there, and that's a wee bit alarming for me. So there's definitely an issue in there, but that's up to the gaffer to sort that south side and hopefully makes the correct decisions.
I wouldn't be surprised if Proper starts on Thursday, Davy. He's not getting bombed out here. I don't think, because the games are coming thick and fast, and Balogun, who was only there as backup, has managed to find himself a jersey. But I don't see it being, he's not going to be able to play the amount of games, so it's going to come down to Proper. He'll probably have to come back in, and then hopefully he'll play well, and then he can keep the jersey.
Yeah, you're dead right. Yes, I don't see Balogun playing at all. Yeah, and that's a big concern for me regarding this game. I mean, as far as Europe, this is only my opinion, guys. Everybody's got their own opinion. The European games are for making a bit of cash, because that section, the way that's been pulled out of the hat, we've got a lot of real wicked games coming up there. And I don't want any of us our players getting injured again. I don't know what you think of this, but I think this is a game where we should blood a few of the young guys, because you've got to find out, can they hack it, can they cut it? I mean, maybe a lot of people say this is not the time to do it. I agree with that. I can see what you're thinking about that, but we've got to, our main concern is that league and what we're doing domestically. We get in out of the European games, it's a bonus. But I think if he's got any kind of, I'm not saying any tactics, but if he's going to take the team and not weaken it, but just give the young boys a wee go at it, see how it goes, and then maybe change it back to he's tried and tested. I don't know if you think anything about that.
AK, what do you think? Now coming to Bridge.
I knew you were going to bat that TVU. What I would say, Dave, listen, I know where you're coming from, but see the way I look at it, I don't know what our allocation is for Thursday night, but I would imagine 2,000-3,000 Bears are heading out there. They're all paying good money to follow our team. The Rangers way is we expect to win, no matter who we play. Now, maybe that's an Achilles heel for us as a mentality or support, but we're hoping that mentality feeds onto the players in the park. The thing about it is, can you risk a 4-5-0 defeat and then everybody's deflated again, and then people are calling for Clement's heed again, and then that spills into domestic stuff. So I think Clement's in a bit of a no-win situation now, where he has to play the strongest team possible and hoping to get a result. I mean, let's not forget, there's money there to be made, there's money there to be won. So, for the board's point of view, I think they'll be desperately hoping that we we come away with at least a draw, if not a victory. But for the mental state of the team and for just the clamber to get Clement sacked, I think he can't afford to go that way, Davey. That's my honest opinion.
I think it's just unfortunate now, Davey. I think we've just got that weaker squad behind the scenes, and the fact that they're trying to get players back for injury. But I think when you're trying to build the team and keep it sort of consistent, I think it's something that we're just going to have to go with, and I think that's when it becomes crucial after the European games and before them, that we make sure that we pick up the 3 points, grind it out, do whatever you have to do, but you have to get the 3 points. Because we'll be at Dingwall at 12 o'clock. I know I'm jumping forward here, but we'll go to Dingwall at 12 o'clock and then we play Tottenham at Ibrox. Then we'll go to that cup final on the Sunday, and then we've got Aberdeen on the Wednesday. That's the schedule when it comes a wee bit further down the line for us. Maybe then you've got to box maybe a bit cleverer, because I'll tell you now, I know we're jumping forward here, but I would rather have a fresher, stronger team on the Sunday for a cup final than I will be putting it to Ibrox against Tottenham. And I don't want to go to Ibrox, so I'll have my ticket, I'll be sitting there. I don't want us to go out. I want us to go out and try and all that, but we might have to box a bit clever and make sure we've got a right good fresher players, because these fixtures are coming thick and fast. Even after that cup final, we've got Aberdeen on the Wednesday, I believe. So we've got to make sure this squad's not going to get any bigger. We've got to try and get players back and get the minutes into them, Bridgeman. So we want Danilo back, we want Ignomani up, we want, hopefully, I don't know how many several weeks that was thingy for Cortez, but we need to try and hopefully he'll be coming back at some point. Raskin's back as well now, playing pretty well, so and Ridvan's on his way back. So we need all these players to come back into your squad, Bridge, for this next run of games right up to Christmas.
Absolutely, pal, absolutely. I do hope they all, like we were speaking of Proper a couple of minutes ago. I don't think Proper's fit. No, that's what I don't think is fit, and that's the reason for his poor play. And that's only my opinion. I don't think he's 100% fit, and he needs to get 100% fit to play, because him playing the form he's on, if that's him 100% fit and that form is no use to Rangers. Sorry to say it, no use to Rangers. I really think the guys have been injured, and he's maybe carrying a wee bit injured, a couple of knocks, and he's not quite go over them. But he arrested the other night. So it shouldn't need to worry, right? So, and a great chance if the manager goes down the road of saying, right, Balogun's injured, we'll get Proper in there, and he's very experienced at European level, and the way European setups are, they play, shall we say, slower build up, and then runs, sprints. So I think he's used to playing at European level. Obviously, overall, it's a faster game, but I think he would be quite good in there if he's fit. It's all to do with being fit. The rest of the stuff you were speaking about, getting all get the boys in, and hopefully these Ignomani, and you want him back. You want. I don't know if Matondo will ever come back. So these guys are all quite good players.
I forgot about him.
you know what I mean? They're there. And I don't know if he'll ever come back for whatever reason. But if he does, he has been a really good player. And you can see skills. He scored some smashing goals. But I think when he got a wee knock, you saw him. I think some of the things he did, sort of surging away for tackles, trying to get away for tackles, not going in. Well, I feared his game. That might have been because he was injured, then he wanted to get anything else to happen to him. And maybe the manager's making sure whatever wee knock he took the last time, we get all the other parts fixed up and make sure he's all right, 100% fit and available. And he might be a different player again. Fingers crossed, I'm hoping again, because his performances were pretty poor. But I'm really pleased for Danilo and some of the boys, as you say, the wee boy coming back at left back. He could get a game there. He could walk straight back in there without a doubt. But I don't know if he's going to be up for the game I don't know what injury he had the last time, so I don't know how long he's going to be. But the manager's got some job to do to get the full squad. Once he's got a full squad available, what's the team going to be? It may be completely different from the one we're talking about just earlier on. So I don't know. I wish him well, I really do, because it's really tough. I just want the best players, or the players that we've got brought in, getting a chance. Cortez has got to get a chance when he comes back to show, and he's got to do it. He's got to show how good he is. This might be his last chance. The fans might turn and say, "We don't want him to see him again. He's rubbish," and that'll stay with him. That'll stay with the fans. We need him to get a chance, because I think he's a smashing player, and Iganami is a good player as well. So there's a number of players there. I think we're good players, and number one of them, was Danilo, and I think we got a chance to see Danilo. I'll be really happy. Obviously, you corrected me. He's not going to be there for a European game, but we need to get him through the season up to Christmas and see how he is.
Can I come in now?
Aye, on you go, Davey.
From the way the conversation's been going the last 3 or 4 minutes, I'd be deeply concerned, very deeply concerned, that we've got players who, that guy was sitting in the stand, but he wasn't even on the subs bench, was he? Proper.
He was a sub.
Right, okay, he was sitting on a bench. Now, if he's no, that's his only my concern regarding that, if he's no even anywhere 100% fit, why would he be on the bench? And why would they take a chance of playing Balogun when he's came off with, I don't know if it was a head injury or what?
Cramp.
Yeah, cramp. Well, it's going to be a hard game. So I just think, I know we're talking about he's not been too clever, proper. I agree with that. But I don't think you can put the blame on he's playing with an injury. When we've done that for donkey's times with Tavernier, and I argued at the time, it's not a case of, it might be he had a slight knock, but you don't play players that are like that. If you're not passing the test, you don't go on the park, you don't even get on the bench.
He's not injured, Davey. He's not been injured. He's put him on the bench because he's dropped him, basically. That's it. Whether he kept on copying for the goal and maybe how he played against St Mirren. Listen, all players will have a bad game from time to time. Doesn't mean to say they're useless. He'll have to learn to be a bit more physical, maybe. He's got good attributes, proper. He can spray a pass left and right. He can go in and take the ball. He's comfortable on the ball. But he's been dominated sometimes in certain positions in the game, in certain games. But doesn't mean to say you're a bad player. He can read a game well. And I think there's a good chance he'll probably play on Thursday night. European game will suit him. I think. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him start on Thursday. It's just my take on it. But he's certainly not carrying any injuries or anything. He was just took out the team. And Balogun's played a lot of football at AK in the last 2 weeks, and the manager said again it was cramp. So just because he's lack of game time and been thrust into the first team with that amount of games at his age.
Aye, well, listen, the Stoya Bucharest game at Ibrox, if you remember right towards the end of the game, Balogun went down with like a back spasm or something, I think it was, they said. So this is the problem with Balogun. He's one of our better defenders, but his body, his physicality, whatever he's going through is not allowing him the entire 90 minutes duration. So the medical team, it's another one. Albert will be screaming, tearing his hair out. He's got to be honest with the manager. The medical team will be keeping an eye on things, and it's one of them again. I mean, the boy Olisanya ragdolled him, didn't he, for St Mirren there a couple of weeks ago. So I think he was dropped. I'm in agreement with you there, Southside, rather than, rested or because he had an injury. I think it was, that was rotten, pal. We can't start you like that. He might come in there, but the only reason why he would come in is, I think Clement will then look at that back line with Yefty, Cashin and Dessers in there. Sterling in there, and you've got a hell of a lot of lackey experience there then. a lot of young boys, so that might be the reason why Proper will start instead of, say, the likes of Cashenware or Sterling.
Aye, 100%. It wouldn't surprise me, but you've made a good point there. Davey, I think even Raskin's been out for a good while, taking the knocks, his strains, and was put out for that tackle against Ajax in the friendly to start with. But he's come in being thrust back into playing, and I think we need to be careful with him as well, because I think he's been playing pretty decent. I think he's been doing well with Barron. But again, he's had a lot of time on the park, and now he's had big games to go in and play high tempo games. He's had burst a lot of energy. So I think he might be looking at him as well, thinking, don't want him burning out or picking up another injury, maybe just through I'm playing just too many games at the moment.
Yeah, but do you feel that the predicament is left with Clements, left with who else does he play there?
I think you'd probably put Diamondi in there then, Davey.
Diamondi, aye. Well, I didn't think he was too clever either on Sunday.
Right, he done a lot of running. I heard Andy Halliday saying that he moved Motherwell players into positions where they didn't want to go. And that was the reason being because Lawrence is too predictable in a way. You know where he sort of takes up positions on the park, whereas Diamondi was going out wide. So it meant a Motherwell player had to go out and track him. You know, maybe he wasn't flashy on the ball and all that, and he didn't have a great game, but he obviously influenced it to a point and created maybe space for us in the midfield that we're just looking for him to pick the ball up and go by players and all that. But maybe he's after the ball running and what he done after the ball obviously hurt Motherwell to a point to allow us to be able to play more passes or whatever. But Halliday said he made a difference when he came on.
Yeah.
Who do you think you're asking? Davey.
Is that for me?
Yeah,
Aye,
Davey.
Well, between him and Barron, they're only two. Well, you can see the energy they're putting into the game. Now, we didn't have that. But I just feel we're just slightly playing Barron too deep a wee bit. I'd like to see him being up. If you look at when we go forward, I've seen a lot of the real good teams. They've got 4 and 5 in the box. Well, we don't. That's a very sell. And they don't even feel they want to give him the ball because it just bumbles about with it. You know, you've got to get that ball in front of him, but if it's coming at him, it's wanting 2-3 touches. And that's the difference with Danilo. He's got that control. But I think Raskin showed that if he keeps playing like that, he's the shirt's there for him. I just think Diamondi's not playing. I don't think we're playing him in the right position either.
No, I said earlier, Davey, I think before you came on, there was times in the game yesterday when we looked like we were in a 3. Diamondi sort of dropped in to pick the ball up. Half Raskin sort of sat in the middle for most of the game. No, I think you've noticed that, Bridge. He seems to be centre of the park, and he'll come to AK. Because you noticed, I think, AK and all. Raskin's in the middle, Diamondi went sort of left, and when Yefty was going up the touchline, they were trying to link up, and Bizrami allowed him to come inside a wee bit, and you could see it. We've done it a few times, might have not been dead noticeable, but you could see it watching it, where they were linking up, and I think it allowed Diamondi and it allowed Barron to play his 8s. No, they could go on the ball and get up the park a wee bit further at times, and Raskin just sat and patrolled right in the middle of the park, Bridge.
Yeah, I think he's a different player now. He's obviously had a number of injuries, Raskin, and the last time he was off, it was probably just a wee knock, and he's came back in, and he's a different player. Obviously not completely different. He's the same player, but he's able to do it better because he's fit and he runs non-stop. He covers every blade of grass, and I like the young Barron as well. It's tremendous, you know. I just think they two are the best players we've got. This is the way I look at it at the moment, because when I go to see them, I watch my team and I see 2 guys in the middle of the park are really, really working hard. They're fighting for every ball as it comes to anywhere near them, and they're in there fighting for it. which some of the other players don't appear to be doing. However, I'm not trying to demean anyone, but I think those two are absolutely superb. And yeah, you know, when they were up there and Matondo was, it's not Matondo, Matondo's name in the brain now, isn't it? Diamonde, when he was up there to the sort of, I would call the old inside left position, and he was working down that line, and the Jeff Dewitt on the left, and the other boy coming in slightly in to the sort of an inside forward area next to the box. Three of them there passing, short passing, wonderful to watch, really, really good. On the other side, you had Barron and Cherny, isn't it? Actually, Cherny. So I think they were absolutely superb. So we're in areas of the park we were really, really good. But sometimes it didn't work all together. So you needed to work all together. As everybody would say, they've all got to do it, but do it at the same time, and it'll be wonderful.
Listen, if Matondo's no far away, the fact that we've not got a natural left-sided player, and that's where he's sort of wants to cut inside on his right foot, and he's got pace to burn. You'd think that when he gets up to fitness, he was well just saying to him, AK, right, you get in there, and there's the left flank, and you've got a couple of games to see what you're going to do, because I was then to move Bajrami right into number 10. Because Cortez isn't fit. We're playing an auxiliary guy out there to a point. I know he's played out there, but we think he's number 10, he'll be more effective. So that's where you want to put him going forward. Whether Lawrence comes back fit or no, I'm not interested. It should be him in there, and if we've got a winger that can go left, that's an outlet for us with pace, then I think we'll just need to go back and try him again and say, this is your last chance, wee man, because otherwise you can go and try and pick yourself a club. I think that's what we need to do, because he's not produced nothing in the last wee while. For the amount of time we've had him, we've had very little back in return.
Aye. It's just when has there ever been a time where Clement's had a full squad of players to pick for? I can't recall it, you know. So he's always had to spin some plates and make temporary decisions with the team in mind. I think that adds to how poorly we're playing, because it's players are playing out of position, but doing it for the manager, for the team, but it's not coming together because a wee bit of discipline or lack of discipline sometimes. That looks like we're getting overrun in the midfield when you've got just Raskin sitting or just Barron sitting, because if we commit too many men forward, the better the opposition you play, they'll pick you off and just run out of defence, and that's where it looks disjointed. For me, we also don't really have a player that really is comfortable running beyond the centre forward, like Ian Durant or that used to do. Tierney looks as if he's coming into a bit of form. Bajrami looks as if his confidence is up. So I'm hopefully they two, as you say, if it's going to be like say Matondo or Cortez, if you get a natural left, a right-sided player on the left to cut inside, then Yefty has to do the overlap, so as the defender gets pulled away to allow him the space, just like Barisic used to do. But it's just unfortunate on the right-hand side we've got a problem now with Tavernier, because his legs aren't there to bomb up and down the park and do what he used to before. So it's I don't like calling it the project that the Clement's on about. Nene's like that word when you're coming speaking about Rangers, but it's just knitting together all these new players at the same time, and whatever strategy, whatever formation we're playing, that only comes with time. That you can't just roll that out and expect it to be, everybody to hit the ground running after 4 months into the season.
I think you can carry one or two, Davey, probably. We're not in the position to be carrying them, but when you're an oiled unit and you're working and the manager's been in, you've done the drills, and you're only integrating 2 players, 3 players in a transfer window, maybe bring a young boy in. It's easy when the team's functioning and you've got 7, 8 players that know what they're doing, the system's there, and you're just hoping that the boys come in and settle, and then their wives settle, their families settle, and then they start producing and playing football. Because at the end of the day, we're not interested in what happens after the park. We're not interested in what they do on the park, Davey, when they're wearing a jersey. But he's had a lot, even last year when he came in. He said, "I've got a puzzle. I'll need to work out who I can play because players weren't fit." And this season, I thought would have been a bit fitter. I thought the squad would have been a lot more fitter, if I'm honest, Davey. But we're still been juggling players in different positions, you know. But hopefully, with Danilo, Matondo, as we've said, Ridvan, there's reinforcements coming. Some of them, they've not done much for us in the jersey. I understand that, but they're there. They're getting paid decent wages, and if he can use them to your advantage to help maybe move a player out of position into his favoured position, then we'll need to go with it.
Yeah, that's a very good point there you made. I think the frustrating bit is regarding the way the results have been coming out, the consistency. And you think, oh, this looks turning here, it's not happening. So that's thrown us into a wee bit of frustration, and hopefully that will iron itself out. Can I just ask you a wee question before we get to the end of the show? Just it's not really relevant to what we've been talking about, but can I ask you this? Why is Butland the vice captain?
I'll go first. I've got no idea. My choice would be Suter. That's who I would have gave the captain. Tab went off the park and I seen Connor Barron take the armband off him, and I seen him trotting up. I thought he was going to get to Suter, but I believe, I didn't know this, but I believe he's been named as vice captain. Is that right, AK?
It is correct, yeah. In the leadership group that they've got, Butland was named the vice captain because we lost Connor Golson. So it's a strange one for me, Davey, and it's a pertinent point, mate. I think it has to be an outfield position. I think Fox has spoke about that before, and Ox as well. See, when you're challenging any decisions that the referee's making, and you try to tell me a goalkeeper's going to come out and challenge it to the ref, and then you've got to wait and him getting back into his goal, it's not going to happen. It's not practical. So an outfield player, I probably Suter. But what do we know, eh?
Yeah. Listen, he might be maybe a part of the leadership group in that, Bridgman, but I would have gave it to Suter as vice captain, because Tav's your captain at the moment. I would have gave it to Suter, but just gave it to Butland for some reason. I don't know if that's maybe if there was a bit of speculation that somebody might have been looking at him in the summer or whatever, and they've just gave him it, because I would have thought for the time that Suter's been there and then over Butland, I thought most of the players might have went for Suter probably, but that's just my opinion. Bridge.
I think that it's difficult. Again, people see things dramatically different. I'm a great believer that the central defensive unit are the people that can actually see the game. They should be able to see every part of the game, whichever way the game's flowing from side to side or up and down. They should be able to see every position in the park, and I think they're the obvious people to be captain. And I long for how can we say it? With some of the centre halves that we've had in the past, they were great captains for us, tremendous captains, and I think that's what it should be. Let's say that anybody else couldn't be a captain. I do agree with you. I think it's a bit tough to ask the goalkeeper to do multiple tasks, in particular the captaincy role the way it is now. You mentioned about having to go to speak to the referee, and it takes a wee bit to get back there, back to go, and so on and so forth. So that could be a wee tricky one, but it wouldn't be anybody in defence would be able to see it, but certainly any of the central defensive people should be able to see what's happening in the pitch. Otherwise, they shouldn't be on the pitch at the position they've got. They should be able to see every single move as it comes across and coming to us and read the game. That's what you call reading the game, and some people are really good at it. You get now and again you'll get midfielders that are absolutely world class, and they could read the game for the back, for the goalkeeper side, all the way up to the centre forward, and they're the people you would have as your captain. but they're once in a blue moon people. We don't have anybody, and I don't think we've got anybody in our squad that could do that from the midfield. So I would go for certainly a centre half. I thought Golson would have a certainty to be our centre half. However, now I can say it now. I'm waiting in the big 6'7" monster of a guy coming in and planting his foot at Ibrox and saying, "This is my territory. Nobody's going to beat us here," and he's my captain.
I need to get somebody for a basketball team or something, I think, Rich. The only one that comes. The only one that.
Some of the Motherwell players were head and shoulders, it seemed like, above our players, height-wise. Maybe it was just my imagination the way I was looking at it. But it seems to me we're coming up against teams that are taller than us in nearly every position. Sorry, I didn't mean
no, you're right. No, you're right. If you looked at Aberdeen, what's Rubinich or something, I think he's called, Aberdeen. Conor Barron was marking him. If you've got Raskin in the box, Conor Barron in the box, even if Red Fan was playing, we're not exactly a lot of height in there, have we? But I mean, you can change it with having somebody like Sterling in there, Casawiro in there, and you've got you could have Balogun and Suter. That's how easy that you can change that back four, and you could have big physical guys that will make sure that they should be competing with the long throw-ins and the set pieces instead of Conor Barron stoning Martin that big Rugovic at Aberdeen last weekend in the midweek game. He's never going to compete with him. And the odds Aberdeen was slung the ball in and the boy just headed it back across the box. So, we lack a lot of height for set pieces as well, and we don't have a lot of players at the moment that are decent in the air. Apart from the centre backs, you were expecting to challenge. And Davy, just before we're finishing up proper, and Suter had went 4 or 5 games without conceding a goal, and we'd actually kept oppositions pretty much out the road for having shots at goal. Up until we started to have the wee blip after Leon.
Yeah, well, this is what we're talking about. The niggling injuries coming into the equation, but you can't legislate for that. But when they're talking about the vice captain, I hate to go on about that. Motherwell had a boy out there at 18 who was their captain. I think just by making him their vice captain, come on, he's bringing sort of questionable about his thoughts. And I just don't think that's quite good, and it's not healthy for us, but could be wrong.
Davey, is that no the players that actually pick their positions rather than the manager?
I couldn't tell you, son, but I mean, if that's the case, that's not right. I mean, the manager runs the team. Yeah, you're probably right, but I don't think that's the way it should be handled.
No, listen, I agree with you. I don't agree that Butland should be the vice captain or the captain in Tavernier's absence, but I think it's the actual players that pick who they want as their captain and who they want as their vice captain, whether that's right or wrong.
I don't think you should have leadership groups. Gets too cliquey. Your captain's your captain, Davey, right? He's your captain, but see, at the end of the day, when you're a professional football player, you should want to go out and win every single week. And if people aren't doing the job, you should be able to dig them out. It's not hard. You're right. You just say to them, here, mate, I know you're having a bad game, but you need to get a bit more effort out of you today. You're this and that. No, you've got to encourage people. A couple of times I've said the dressing room was silent after a defeat. Well, it shouldn't be silent. And according to Butland, they were pretty vocal at half time, and it wasn't just the manager. So there was 4 or 5 of them spoke up. So that's sounded better to me, because that's the way it should be. Anyway, David, talking about that, it's time to shut the show, pal. That's us came to the end. So I'll leave you to say a few words before you go.
What do you think? I'm a minister or something?
Oh, you were just about to go. The show's just about to finish. I'm giving you your last words. You want to know what you're having for dinner? Well,
I've thoroughly enjoyed your show tonight. And you all stay happy and safe. And God bless the Rangers. Good night.
Thanks for phoning in, Davey, as always. I appreciate it, mate.
You're welcome, mate. Good night.
Good night.
Cheers, Davey.
I see we done a poll just earlier on there on should the board support the Union Bears more, and the poll was 85% for and 15 against. So that was a poll we done earlier. Well, AK, what would you like to say before we finish the show?
I enjoyed that. 2 hours flew by. No, I enjoyed it tonight again. Good calls again, good discussions. Good to talk about a Rangers victory. That's 4 I've been to this season. We've won 4, so if there's a ticket for the final going south side and you want to win it, get me a ticket.
Take them along.
Join the queue. But no, thanks, pal. All the best.
Man, I'm thinking, my Bridgeman, I might just have to suffer it, man, honestly, because I really want this victory. Do you know what I mean? So I might actually. But you know what happens if he doesn't? He's never getting another ticket again in his life.
Absolutely. Oh boy, oh man! Can I just say what a marvellous night. Thanks very much, Southside, for having us on, and thanks to AK for looking after me. And obviously the techie boys in the background. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, Thursday night, massive game, huge game in Rangers history. Believe you me, massive game. Now, the team that we've got and the squad that we've got need to improve exponentially to be able to win the Europa League. But let's get past this one first. Let's get past this one and get out there and win it. I wish you luck. Every single one of you, I wish you all luck. Do it for the Rangers. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers because they need it.
Oh, there's a message that's been flung up there saying there's a raft to take if any presenters are giving away tickets. AK, so it looks like you've had it. You've had it. Anyway, can I thank you two guys first and foremost for helping us out tonight. It's been thoroughly appreciated, and I hope you have enjoyed the show. I'd like to thank old Davey, as always, a regular that phones in the show, for phoning in the night and all, and putting his wisdom into the night. So I'd like to thank him. I'd like to thank everybody who's listened in the night, and especially all the troops on YouTube who go in there faithfully, and everybody else out there on whatever platform else we're out there. I'd like to thank you for listening in. Big Stevie as well, my big mucker. I'd like to thank him for phoning in. And we'll be back tomorrow, usual time, 8 to 10. And like to thank Fox and Old School Blue, because without them there is no show. So hopefully we march on to Thursday, Greece, and it'll be a Rangers draw or a win. That would do us nicely. But a hard game, it'll be a hostile atmosphere. But as always, we'll be looking forward to it. Fear no foe. So let's do this, Rangers. One team, one crown. Take it away, Foxy boy.